Entonces.
You're watching K34QB, Vail, Colorado.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in to TV8's Good Morning Vail for your Saturday, February 15th edition. We've got a great show in store for you. We're going to introduce you to recruiter guy Bill Humbert because he's got some great tips and tricks. And then we're going to talk to Claire Noble from Eagle County. We're going to introduce you to Fresh Camp and a delicious charcuterie box that you're not going to want to miss out on. And then, of course, we're going to be making some delicious tortellini soup. It's all taking place here on Good Morning Vail, which starts right now.
Get up, get ready to start your day. The mountains are calling you out to play. Come on, we'll make you feel right at home. Good morning, Vail. See what lies in store for you. There's so many things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Your home in the Rockies has it all. So get up, get ready to start your day. The coffee's brewing, you're on your way. The fun is waiting outside your door. Good morning, Vail.
This weather report is sponsored by Grand Hyatt Vail. Indulge in the bold flavors of Makoto at Grand Hyatt Vail. Make your reservations today.
Lens of the Day is brought to you by Eyepieces of Vail and Goggle Bar.
I love that jingle because I love getting to talk about ski stuff first thing in the morning to inspire you to get out there and have a great day on the mountain. Well, this morning we're going to talk about the Oakley Line Miner. Now, this is a great goggle because Oakley has a very unique prism system within their lenses, and what this does is allows one goggle to cover a broad spectrum of light. Now, as we take a look at this goggle, you can see that it's going to have that rose-based tint starting in that goggle lens. Then you're going to see those other colors come through. This is the Prism Argon Iridium, and so it's going to have that pink tint to start, which is going to help you see as that light gets a little bit flat, but then you can see those greens, those blues coming through, and that's going to allow you to see while the light is nice and sunny out there. So this is a great goggle. If you're someone who doesn't like to change your goggle lenses, just have one across the board that's going to kind of work in all conditions. It's going to be a little bit dark on those very cloudy, snowy days. This is also an OTG goggle. You can see that cutout right there, allowing your glasses arms to fit into this goggle. Now, if you're someone who doesn't like to ski or snowboard with your glasses, well, then we recommend you go over to see our friends at Eyepieces of Vail, as they've got some great inserts that you can put inside the goggle, and that way you can always see, so you can always ski or ride. Now, we want to thank Eyepieces of Vail for bringing you this Lens of the Day report. If you're making your way out there to enjoy the mountain, make sure that you can see perfectly, that way you can ski perfectly, and to do so, go see our friends at Eyepieces. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we've got more of the show.
Good morning, Vail.
Hey, it's your boy, Nephew Tommy, your host for an all-new season of Black College Quiz, where the nation's best and brightest display their knowledge of Black history and culture while competing for prizes and scholarships. So get ready to see HBCU Nation take the academic field. Black College Quiz! BCQ! Black College Quiz! BCQ! Black College Quiz! BCQ! Yeah, man.
You know TV8 Vail has great local content, but did you know about our production services? Hire an expert to develop your website reel, commercials, live stream events, studio production, and more. If you can dream it, we can help you do it. TV8 delivers high-quality content in both English and Spanish. Contact us today to discuss your next project. Email Danielle at tv8vail.com or call 970-628-9881.
TV8 Vail is expanding its distribution, and we want you to be the first to know. You can now find TV8 and our all-Spanish live stream Conecta en Vivo on Roku and Amazon Fire TV. Search the channel store for TV8 Vail and Conecta en Vivo on your device and add them to your list of favorite channels. And as always, you can continue to live stream on our website at tv8vail.com or find us on Spotify. At home or on the go, you'll never miss a minute of your favorite local programs on TV8.
Good morning, Vail.
Do you need some apparel logoed? Also, do you want a delicious charcuterie to go box? Well, then Camp Fresh has got you covered, and we were so lucky to have them in the studio to bring us all this information. So let's hear what they have to say.
Welcome back, everybody. This is your Tuesday edition of TVA8's Good Morning Vail. I'm your host, Liz, and I have a very special guest with me right now. This is Nick Hodges from Fresh Camp. Now, when I was reading about Fresh Camp, I literally, in my mind, thought it was kids camp, but it's not exactly that. This is really cool. You're fairly new within the inception, within the last couple of years. You're located in Eagle. Tell us all about Fresh Camp. It's for adventures, and this is really exciting. So what is going on with you guys so we can tell everybody so they can get their kids excited?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Fresh Camp, I've got the charcuterie here, which is our adventure-ready snack container. So that's why she was saying it's for kids, but really it's for everyone, right? And so this is your adventure-ready snack container where you can bring snacks into the backcountry. This is one of our most popular products, but what we do at Fresh Camp is outdoor-inspired products.
Oh my God, this is so fun.
Yeah, so we do business to business. So we sell to businesses and help them promote their brands, whether that's through resale or promotional. I brought some goggle covers to give you guys. So as really we want to get your brand in front of your customers in a stylish and way that they will actually use and remember your name.
So this is mostly product placement type of thing where you can work with businesses and they get their logos on top of these things.
Exactly, yep.
This isn't camp at all. This is really cool though.
Yeah.
This is a really unique and different kind of idea for everybody. I love this. So you can also do for businesses or maybe like a wedding party or anything like that for a big event, any kind of big event, you could basically personalize it for them.
Absolutely. And so we're really big into the event space right now. So we're working a lot with the ski mountains, a lot of competition services. And so a lot of the big mountain competitions that are happening, we provide a lot of stylish merch for that. And we do free graphic design, which that sets us apart from everyone else.
Well, that's a big cost.
Yeah, it really is. And it's free custom graphics. And so, you give us an idea and we'll create it for you. We do that up front, and so you don't pay a dime until you see exactly what you're going to get created. And so, really what we believe in is creating the best product for you that, again, people are going to use and wear.
Yes.
And the design is a huge part of it, right?
Yeah, for sure. So if everybody here at TVA8, the cast, the crew, we wanted to make a big party, let's say, like a big adventure. So you would, if we wanted, I love the name of this, Charcuterie.
Yeah.
I love it. So what other products do you do for the clients? So like if we were going to go on a big adventure and we wanted to give each one of our peoples something special.
So we kind of tailor the experience to whatever it is, right?
Wow.
So we kind of identify what is the event, who's the ideal clientele, and we'll kind of suggest some products there. And so we do a lot of neck gaiters and goggle covers. Those are very useful. We have like these carabiner mugs, little mugs, stainless steel that you laser engrave with a carabiner.
I love that.
Yeah, so very outdoorsy.
Very cute stuff. You have apparel and headgear and all kinds of stuff for the outdoor adventures. Water bottles?
Water bottles, that's how we started.
No way.
Yes. So
because they're very popular out here.
Absolutely. So Fresh Camp, we created the name on a hike in the Tetons, and we were going to be a drinkware company. And so we were going to reinvent those 5-gallon stainless steel, or I'm sorry, the 5-gallon water stations that you see at restaurants. Oh. We developed a stainless steel version of that. And we started with that. That was too expensive to get into.
I was going to say.
So we kind of took a step back and started with drinkware.
Nice.
And Fresh Camp came from that. It was like fresh, you want it to be clean water and whatnot. And then camp was the outdoor themed.
Right.
So we started laser engraving mugs out of our house.
Oh my gosh.
Which was.
You sound like a Shark Tank
Yeah,
starter.
I know, right? Yeah, well, that's how it all starts, right?
Yeah, it
and,
does.
So we were doing that, burning the midnight hours, like that thing broke all the time. And so we were like, well, this isn't really sustainable. And people were asking us for more things. Shanna, my partner who does all the graphic design, she's got like 10 years of experience in the apparel industry. And so let's use that. She's the talent, I'm the business side, and we put our heads together and Fresh Camp was born.
I love it. And you actually say you have white glove service without the stress. So you basically take all the stress out of everybody, whether it comes to a fundraiser that they're going to have or an outdoor activity that they're going to do, a big hike or camping experience. They just have to call you and the rest is up to you. And they get to just show up and have a great time. And I like the idea that they don't have to pay until they approve.
Yes.
That's very special.
Yes. You don't want to scare people away with collecting credit cards and whatnot. And we make it so easy to work with us that's why we offer that. Yes, we've created tons of designs for people that haven't bought.
Right.
But they might tell their friends, right? And we're building an empire here, and that's what we're trying to do.
Ooh,
and so,
I love that.
Yeah.
You have big goals.
We have very big goals.
Well, I think that's fantastic. And you know what I just thought about with your Charcuterie? You could I'm going to open it for people to see inside because it's really cute. And what you could do with this, okay, this is like got everything in the world that I want to eat.
Yes.
There's miniature Pop-Tarts in here. I'm in trouble. But this is
cool. You
cool.
guys the sugar rush in the morning.
Right. But what you could do is there's different size containers. Mm-hmm. And what I was thinking of, a lot of people when they ski, they want to take a little break. You could even do like lunch meats or anything like that. And put that in their backpack and take it with them. And they'll be the only ones sitting there with a little charcuterie while they're taking their break and everyone else is eating, I don't know, a pocket hot dog or something like that.
That's exactly, so we do this. We bring burger condiments up and grill up at Vail. We bring this to the Ford Amphitheater concerts, rafting, hiking, biking. It fits in a backpack. We also have a larger version.
Oh,
so this is the personal. We also have the party, which is about twice as big, still fits in a backpack. But yeah, that's the concept is people can bring the charcuterie out. You avoid bringing plastics out into the environment as well. Yeah. And so, all of these were packaged. Yes, exactly. And like you mentioned, it's got the divider, so you can really segment it however you'd like to.
Sporting goods. I mean, sporting affairs too.
Yes.
Tailgate party. I'm coming up with all these ideas.
Airplane rides, like road trips.
Just don't put tuna fish in it on the airplane.
Yeah, please don't
put tuna in there.
You might upset some people.
Oh, it's so funny the things people do.
Yes.
But this is really, there's no, even like a really long car ride when you have the kids in the back and they're like, I want this, I want that. Mini Pop-Tarts, people, that's what I say.
Just knock them out with the sugar.
Yeah. I don't know about knocking them out. It might get them hyper, but this is a really, really clever idea. And you can see it's airtight, so it keeps it fresh and would probably remain wet-proof as well.
Yes. It's water resistant if you submerge it.
Well.
But yeah. So
submerge anything in water, I don't care.
Exactly, yeah.
I think this is a marvelous idea. And what's your most popular item that gets ordered?
So this winter it's been neck gaiters for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
The neck gaiters have been really popular, and we've done a lot, like I mentioned, for those competition services,
Right.
and that's the best gift to give somebody.
It
like,
really
hey, stay
is.
warm. And charcuterie goes right up there, though. This is definitely our most unique. You know, a lot of people do neck gaiters.
Yes.
Not as cool as ours, I want to say.
Right.
But the charcuterie has been like one of those things where people are like, oh my gosh,
It's
this is such a
unique.
cool idea. But we've done some really cool hats, really cool T-shirts. We just did for Idaho. It's got the
I love
Idaho
this.
logo with the skier throwing a flip
Oh,
on
really?
there, and like just really cool stuff that
That's
relate
amazing.
to the people of Colorado
Right.
and anyone that's outdoor. And you know, if the name relates to you, you're our people. Come into the community.
And I like the hats, and I think that kids and school teams, sporting teams, would love something like this as well, because they could do something for just gathering for the games and things
Yeah.
like that. I'm very blown away by this. It's a great idea. Now be a Shark Tank or something like that. But I think that this is really incredible for you guys, and I'm really happy that you're here for everyone. How do people order something like this or talk to somebody so they can throw ideas at them to figure out for their next big event?
Yeah, absolutely. So freshcamp.com. You can also follow us on social media. We've got a lot of our work there.
Nice.
And we've got a little portal that you can start your project, select which products you want, and then from there, really, we design everything for you. You'll receive a presentation with all of the custom designs that we create for you, and it's as simple as just saying, I want that one, and that one. Let's get the quantity going, and
Yes.
we handle everything else.
I'm impressed. This is Nick Hodges, everybody, from Fresh Camp, freshkamp.com, and find them on social media and make sure your next big event includes Fresh Camp products, everybody. This is such a great idea for personalization and just gatherings and everything else. I can't thank you enough for being here with
Thank
me.
you.
Nick Hodges, everybody. It's Fresh Camp right here on Good Morning Vail on TV8, and we'll be right back.
Good morning, Vail.
Next up, we've got a special duo from two of the best voices in the bluegrass and country genres.
We know you're going to love this one from Melanie Cannon and Willie Nelson. Here's Back to Earth.
Songs our love created, I still sing. And every night we make the rafters ring.
Did you know that all Eagle County residents and visitors can get a free Eagle Valley Library District card? All you need is a photo ID. You get our online databases and resources, free music, free streaming, all from wherever you have internet access. Free audiobooks and e-audiobooks straight to your phone. Go into your Eagle Valley Library District branch today and get your library card.
TVA Vail is proud to announce the Wacky Winter Reading Program. We're asking children of all ages, K and even the teenagers going up to 12th grade, read 10 books or 1,000 pages by April 30th, 2025. You can find all the details on our website, tv8vail.com. Thank you to our sponsor, the lovely Eagle Valley Library District, where you can go pick up your book and have a great time. Have a great winter from your friends at TVA Vail.
Good morning, Vail.
Earlier this week, I had the opportunity to chat with Claire Noble from Eagle County. She is our public information officer, so she always has a wealth of information on what's happening in our community, and she came and shared just that. Let's hear what she has to say. Welcome back to the show. One of our favorite people to have on, she is a wealth of knowledge. It is Claire Noble from Eagle County. Good morning, Claire.
Good morning, Maddie. Great to be here. Nice snowy morning after our pre-spring last week.
I know. What a mean tease of spring.
Yeah.
But all of this snow is going to be super helpful as we are approaching summer and the warmer seasons, and so we need the snow.
And we're also getting ready to head into spring break season. So really busy season on the mountain, and they really could use this snow. So I'm sure it's beautiful out there right now.
Yes.
Little jealous that I have to go into work after this interview. But coming up this Friday, speaking of skiing, it's the Community Ski and Ride Day. So this is going to be at Vail. You can meet the commissioners and other electeds at 10 o'clock at Gondola 1 and go ski with them. And we recommend that people have about an intermediate ability. You're responsible for your own lift ticket and your own equipment. If you're like not interested in the skiing part, but you'd like to have lunch with the commissioners, they'll be eating at El Segundo at about noon. So, yeah.
Which this is a great way to kind of give you the opportunity to maybe sit down, talk, throw some ideas, and it really humanizes those people that can be a little intimidating to talk to.
Sure, and if you have a question, like a why question, like why do you guys spend money on this and not that, and what's going on with housing, or what's going on with the fairgrounds, this is your chance to ask them and hear directly from them. I mean, we try to put out as much information as possible, but it's also nice to hear it from the people who are the decision makers.
Which I think is really important because there have been some big decisions made. Last time you and I sat on the couch, we talked about a plot of land that we were trying to get our hands on, so let's talk more about that.
Yeah, that's the Three Meadows Ranch off of Cottonwood Pass, and it is entirely in Eagle County. However, it is part of the Roaring Fork watershed. So Eagle County partnered with Aspen and Pitkin County and the Aspen Valley Land Trust to purchase this piece of land. We went in about thirds. Eagle County kicked in a little bit more, but it was $27 million.
Wow.
It's 4,200 acres. It's one of the biggest, if not the biggest, open space purchase we've made. And it is home to so much habitat. There's a resident elk herd on that land. As I mentioned, watershed. And going back to the elk herd, CPW, Colorado Parks and Wildlife, was really excited about this purchase because our elk population has been under stress. There's been drought, which makes it more difficult for them to find things to eat, also find things particularly in the winter to drink. So it really puts a lot of stress on the herd. So being able to preserve this piece of land is good for that herd as well as the rest of the animals and the plant life in that habitat.
Which I think is really important because we do have so many of these animals that live amongst us. That's the greatest part of living up here in the mountains. And so what a spectacular way for our community to come together to help preserve the lives of these animals.
Right. And a lot of what county government is it's a balancing act. So we want to help our mountain ecosystem, but we also want to help our workforce and also promote our economy. So we have a couple of things going on that are either in the works or well underway. So one of the things that's in the works is it looks like we're moving forward on an event space at the county fairgrounds. We did a fairgrounds master plan a couple of years ago, and this is one of the things they recommended. And so we are looking at putting a regulation size hockey rink over at the fairgrounds. This would be just west of the arena. Right now we have the Eagle River Center out there, and if you're wondering, well, why can't you use that? Well, it's a dirt floor facility. That's really for like showing animals, showing horses, that kind of thing. They can put a wood floor in there. It takes their staff the entire day to put that in there.
Yes.
So this is just a different kind of use facility that there is a real interest in and a real need in our community.
Which I think will be spectacular, because any of these great locations where we can house these big events, just because we have so many wonderful fundraisers here that really have to push the limits, think outside the box to host the events, this is going to give them kind of that safe space to do so.
Sure, the fairgrounds hosted over 250 events last year in 2024 between the Eagle River Center and the exhibit hall. The exhibit hall, if you've ever been in there, especially during the rodeo when we have the Cowboy Cafe set up there, it's like stepping back in time. You do feel like a time traveler. It's a very old facility. They do a great job keeping it going, but it's small. Back when events used to be quite a bit smaller than they are today.
Which these are all events that we're so grateful for. To see them expand is such a wonderful option. Now, if people are interested in following along with this project, is there somewhere they can do so?
Well, right now we don't have a project page, but any kinds of announcements about it will be on our website, eaglecounty.us. Something that is well underway, if you've driven on Miller Ranch Road recently, is what's called the Edwards Commons. That scrappy little piece of land that I didn't even think was that big in front of the field house for Mountain Rec, across the street from Battle Mountain High School. It's going to house a number of sort of fundamental county offices. Public health is going to be in there. Human Services is going to be in there. The Sheriff's Office is going to have a satellite office. But the big thing is it's going to become the elections center. So right now, our election staff have to pull everything out of, locked basements and set it up, and then when the election's over, put it all away. They're going to have their own dedicated election space. There'll still be other voting centers around the county as well as ballot boxes, but this will become the centralized voting center. But the other great thing about it is it's as housing. They're putting in housing around it. And you can see that right now. It's modular housing, so they're already putting it together. It's amazing to see how fast that can happen.
Which I think is so incredible. Any opportunity to expand our housing, make it a little bit more affordable for our workforce here, is such a good thing for our community to do.
Sure. Now, when I arrived, we were talking about our exciting drive-in this morning. So, one of the things CDOT does is if you go to cotrip.org, you'll find different bits of information about current road conditions.
Yes.
My favorite thing is to check the cameras, because there's nothing like being able to see, do I really think my car can make it over Vail Pass with that amount of snow?
Or should I take I-70 versus Highway 6 this morning?
Exactly. I would always opt for I-70 because it's usually plowed first.
Yes.
But sometimes, as I think we both noticed this morning, the roundabouts seem to be the last to get some attention.
Yes.
I've decided that my car cannot handle more than 17 miles per hour around a roundabout when there's snow and ice on the ground.
And at all, and that's such a great resource for people to use.
Yeah.
My car had a hard time getting up the on-ramp at the Walcott exit, so it's important to know what you're getting into.
The other thing people can do to be informed is sign up for EC Alerts. Go to EC Alert, and you can put in your information. You can select the communities you want to get information for. And this is great for road conditions if, for instance, Vail Pass is closed or the Dow Junction is closed. But the other thing is, like right now, from time to time, our various fire districts do prescribed burns.
Yes.
And so they'll put out an EC alert so that you don't call 911, because honestly, they get flooded with hundreds of phone calls when people see smoke, because we do want people to report fires.
Right.
But if you knew in advance that was a prescribed fire, you wouldn't call. If you want something even easier, download the Reach Well app. Then you just select Eagle County. You can select your language and you're going to get the same information. You don't have to put a lot of your personal information in there. You just download the app.
Which is all so incredible. Claire, thank you so much for coming in and always giving us this wealth of knowledge. That's why we love having you here. You're an expert on our community.
Thank you so much, Maddie.
Make sure that you use all of these great resources. That way you're getting your EC alerts. That way you're not calling on prescribed burns. You're knowing what's taking place on our roads, and always so much more. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we've got more of the show, so stay tuned.
Good morning, Vail.
Discover the perfect blend of style and performance in your eyewear at Eyepieces. With convenient locations in Vail Village, Lions Head, Beaver Creek, Edwards, Basalt, and Snowmass, Eyepieces is the destination for luxury eyewear and high-performance optics. From iconic brands to the latest in sport frames and snow goggles, we have the eyewear to match your mountain lifestyle. Plus, we offer prescription lens services, including eye exams, custom lenses, and prescription goggles for your mountain adventures. Visit us today to experience the art of vision. Eyepieces, serving the Vail Valley's vision needs for over 40 years.
Hello, my name is Jeffrey Morgan. I'm with Ron Byrne and Associates. And today I'd like to welcome you to Mine House and Mi Casa, a premier bed and breakfast right here at the base of Beaver Creek Mountain. Let's go inside.
This property is currently being run as a bed and breakfast with 20 bedrooms, all with ensuite bathrooms. Right now we are standing in Mi Casa, and next door we also have Mine House. A wonderful opportunity to own a turnkey hospitality business, but it's also an opportunity to own it as a private residence. It can be sold all as one or in individual pieces, however you choose.
So now that we've had a chance to show you these two amazing properties, Mi Casa and Mine House,
we would love the opportunity to show you in person. Give us a call.
Are you looking to spice up your career life? Well, then TV8 Vail is looking for some part-time hosts. There's no better way to start your morning than here with the TV8 and Good Morning Vail team. You can email your resumes to Danielle at tv8vail.com, and that way you can be part of the fun.
Good morning, Vail.
Love is in the air, and wouldn't you love your top candidates to love your company if you're hiring for that new position? Well, I'm joined by the expert recruiter guy, Bill Humbert. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Maddie. How are you this morning?
You know, I'm feeling quite lovely. You get my joke?
I got that. Nicely done.
How are you this morning?
I'm lovely also.
I love it. Well, let's talk about getting candidates to love the company they're going to work for.
You know, too often companies put blocks in their recruiting process that discourage candidates from applying. You're saying, not us. The odds are, though, that your company is guilty.
And what do you feel the blocks are, and how can companies avoid those blocks?
You know, back in the old days when I started recruiting, people just saw an ad in the newspaper, they mailed their resume, and even in 1990 or 1983, they started faxing their resume. Amazing. It was just amazing. It happened immediately. And then sometimes they even dropped their resumes off. And if that person was good enough, the person reading the resume say, hey, why don't you stay here? I want to hook you up with a manager right now. Today, first of all, usually you have poorly written job descriptions that really don't describe the job. And then secondly, they're posted online, and candidates, all of them say, oh, I feel like I can do that job, especially when they're desperate for a job. And then they apply online, and that's where the keyword algorithm gets in the way. And it says they're not a high match. Well, if it's poor description and the keyword match, that means that even the keyword match isn't working. So the improper use of technology is a major block.
And what steps can companies take to remove those blocks and attract the love from these candidates?
You know, it's important for people to be involved in the process. So encourage your hiring managers to network with people they've worked with in the past and ask them, who do you feel would be a good person for this position? And what's really great is the person they're talking to can ask them questions about the position and really nail that candidate and say, you know, I think that you ought to talk to so-and-so. The second thing is, don't force candidates to spend 20 minutes to complete an application before there's any mutual agreement that this is a good person and this is a good match for that candidate. Because the really good candidates, as soon as they see they have to fill out an application, they fly away very fast. And then understand, recruiting mirrors a sales process, line by line, step by step. And who are the people doing the recruiting? Well, you know, HR is an important function, and with the exception of recruiting, all of the other HR functions, benefits, compensation, employee relations, employee development, they're all administrative or compliance functions. When have you ever seen a compliance person lead a company in sales? Never. So those are the 3 steps immediately you should take care of and get somebody involved who understands sales and understands how to attract people to you.
Now, if companies follow these steps exactly, what do you expect the results will be?
You know, I think, this is appropriate for the season, but I think that if you do a really nice job, then what's going to happen? Those candidates are going to start to love you. Notice all these candidates that love your company because you've made it easy for them to contact you. And that's really important. And if you make that whole process run smoothly, smoother than today, you'll be attracting candidates like crazy, and then it's important to engage them once they get started.
And of course, what's the importance of following your suggestions? Why should they do it?
Well, I am the leading organic search result for talent attraction consultant. I know what I'm talking about. I've been recruiting over 40 years, and I know from the candidate's perspective how they think because I've been coaching candidates for over 26 years. Therefore, I know both sides of the story, and it's really important to follow these suggestions.
Now, if a company wants to work with you, what's the best way for them to get in contact?
I'm very easy. I am recruiterguy.com, and that's GUY. So recruiterguy.com, and you'll find a lot of information on my website to begin with, but on my homepage, there's a red banner. It says Speak with Bill. Click on that, find a time that's convenient for you that works in my calendar, and let's have a conversation.
Bill, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us and always giving us this great information. You are the top recruiter guy.
Thank you, Maddie. It's fun being here.
Make sure that you use the website recruiterguy.com. That way you can spend some time chatting with Bill, you can experience his wealth of knowledge, and you can find those perfect candidates to love your company. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we've got more of the show, so don't go anywhere.
Good morning, Vail.
The season starts when Nate Dogg, Trailer Tom, and friends have started the season in front of you.
There it is, the white ribbon of living.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And on that very first chair, two very familiar faces who've been in line for 2 days.
My name is Nate Dogg, N-A-T-E, D-O-G-G-G-G.
My name is Trailer Tom.
Nate Nadler and Tom Miller live nearby.
I feared nothing but not getting first chair. Second chair nightmare. Yeah, second chair nightmare.
My goal is to continue to fight for this first chair as long as I'm physically able. First chair coming at us one more year.
Join us on board the Leadville Railroad Winter Express. Stay cozy in our heated lounge cars. Marvel at the stunning winter landscape. Sip delicious hot chocolate. Don't forget to check out our new specials. Book today at leadvillerailroad.com.
Take the first game every one of us played in the schoolyard. Turn up the degree of difficulty to maximum, and then let loose some of the fastest and most agile athletes in the world to go one-on-one in what you have is the most extreme pursuit contest you've ever known. It's intense, it's addictive, and there's only one rule. Don't get caught.
Oh my gosh. If you haven't seen World Chase Tag before, here's how it works.
2 teams of up to 6 athletes compete in a series of one-on-one chases. Each chase lasts up to 20 seconds and has 1 chaser and 1 evader.
Opportunity to points on the board! Oh!
Whoever wins the duel stays on as the evader, and teams get 1 point for each evasion they make.
And it looks like the opening point of this contest.
It's the best of 16 chases to win the match, with a sudden death chase-off required to break any ties. It's win or go home from now on. Don't miss it.
It's time for the best coverage of the top stories in sports. The Sports Wrap with Jason Page starts now.
How do you make Anthony Edwards the face of your franchise if you're the Minnesota Timberwolves? We'll get into that.
And we say hello to our good friend Matt Verderam, who hangs out with us from SI.com. Their NFL insider, one of them, is hanging out with us on the program today.
Did you see Caitlin Clark last night? She put up a 40-burger, hits the game-winning 3 as time expires. Let's turn our attention to the Denver Broncos, one of the NFL's most dysfunctional situations.
The Sports Wrap with Jason Page.
Good morning, Vail.
One of my favorite places to be is watching Kim in the kitchen because she always has delicious recipes for you to try at home. And today she's making tortellini soup. Let's head to the kitchen.
Now, back in the kitchen, this is one of my favorite things to do here on Good Morning Vail. And as the weather changes, I also love good, hearty, comforting foods, but also I actually love to eat soup all year long. So I'm going to show you a simple soup that you may have all the ingredients on hand to make at home, but it's 3 ingredients, maybe 4 if you're feeling fancy. This soup reminds me very much of growing up and the small town Italian restaurant that we had. It's called tortellini in brodo, which is basically tortellini in broth. How simple is that? So I've got chicken broth right here, and it does not matter what kind of chicken broth you want to use. I particularly like to use the free range, lower sodium, just so that I don't feel swollen when I'm finished eating my delicious soup. Then you've got greens. You can use any greens that you want to. I'm choosing to use spinach. If you wanted to feel fancy, you can always add some mushrooms into it as well, but you want to make sure that you thinly slice them so that they cook and just about as evenly as everything else. Now we also have our tortellini, super easy. 3 cheese tortellini, you can put whatever kind of tortellini you want to, but this is usually my go-to, and most grocery stores have this on hand. And that is literally it. 3 ingredients. If you're feeling fancy later, we can top it with some Parmesan. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. We're going to go ahead and turn on our stove. You just need a simple pot. That is it. And then we're going to go ahead and get our chicken broth into the pan. All right. So all you're going to take is, you don't have to measure anything out. We're just going to pour this all the way in here, and we're going to let it come up to a nice boil. Once it comes to a boil, we'll add in our tortellini, and we'll let those cook as well. So this is probably a nice 2 to 3 servings, depending on how much you want to eat that day. But it's nice and light, but also comforting and just very delicious to eat. Now, this reminds me of my childhood, my favorite restaurant at home. It's this tiny little Italian restaurant called Renato's. And what they basically did is they had the tortellini in brodo. It was my favorite soup. To this day, it still is. So I'm always looking up ways to kind of reinvent that soup. So we're going to go ahead and just let this warm up. I can see it's starting to boil up, but soup is just one of my favorite meals to make. You know, I like to do a chili. That's usually a go-to. This is a nice and easy one. If you wanted to add other ingredients outside of the tortellini and the greens, you can do a kale if you wanted to. Spinach is usually a nice and easy greens to add into the soup because it cooks and wilts down very quickly. And then you can add some meats if you wanted to, or you could go with the tortellini that has the meat stuffed inside of it. I like the cheese because that is a classic Italian dish as well. So we're just letting it boil up. I can feel the heat from the gas stove here. It's getting warmer. I can start to see some of the bubbles starting to come up to the surface. You may not be able to see it on camera yet, but it is going to happen. Now we did that. We're going to go ahead and cut open our spinach. One of the things with the spinach I like to make sure is I don't love the stems and spinach. So I always rip all of my stems off, and I usually will rinse them off as well just to make sure that everything is nice and clean. So I'm going to cut it open. We've got our spinach nice and cut open, and then I've got a spoon here to stir the soup as needed. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and take my spinach leaves, and I like to rip off all of the stems because to me the stems kind of get stuck in your throat. They're not as easy to digest, so I just rip them off just like that. We throw the leaves in here, and then I'll do a quick rinse of the leaves. It's okay if there's a little bit of water left on them as well. So it looks like these are looking good. We're just going to keep on just sifting through the spinach to make sure that none of the stems are left on it. And you know, you can put as much or as little. You know, spinach does wilt down pretty drastically. So I would say we're going to be working on this for a minute while we let everything else kind of cook together. So I'm just going to throw my stems on the counter here, and then I'll throw them out when I'm done using them or done shedding them from the leaf themselves. So we'll just do that a bit, and it's looking good. I love the smell of chicken broth. I know that means a nice, delicious meal is coming my way. So we're looking good on these spinach leaves here. I'm going to just keep on ripping them apart. Now, I may actually just hand rip the spinach as well, but we'll wait till the last step to decide if we want to do that, just so that it's a little bit easier to digest. It's smaller bites, smaller pieces, just to make sure that it's a nice, delicious spoon-filled soup. looking good. We are seeing the bubbles. As you can see, it starts when bubbles are starting to boil. You can see it comes from the outside inward into the pot. So it's nice and thin. We're going to go ahead and put our tortellini in there, into the broth itself. Now, I have scissors here. We can cut it just like that instead of trying to stab the product and potentially injure yourself. You don't want to do that. So we'll go ahead and get this packet open. Now, looking great. With the tortellini, it's really easy to tell when they're done. They're going to sink to the bottom. We're going to pop them in there just like that. And then they'll rise to the surface when they're done cooking. Now, depending on if you want them al dente, you can kind of test it earlier. But this is even better because you don't have to worry about having to rinse them and pouring them back into it. We're cooking it directly into the broth. Tortellini in brodo, so nice and easy there. Now I'll give it a quick little stir, just like that. And we're gonna let it continue to boil, let the tortellini cook. I'd say it'll probably be about 5 minutes or so for it to fully cook, and then we'll add the spinach into it maybe just before they're finished so that the greens can wilt and all melt together. And then if you want to add some Parmesan cheese on top of it, if you're feeling fancy, if you like a little kick, you can always add additional Italian spices to it, maybe some red pepper flakes, whatever your choice is. But this is literally the most simple soup to make. You just throw some broth together, throw some tortellini into it, and we'll just keep adding some more spinach to it. You can add the mushrooms, the spinach. I would say you can even add onion if you want to. But really, the base of the soup is the greens, the tortellini, and the broth. And now you can see the bubbles are just really coming together. We're getting a nice boil going here. As soon as it really starts to be a full rolling boil, we'll reduce the heat down to about a medium so that they can cook and just really kind of simmer and melt into that broth there. So it's looking great. I'm ready to eat. I know it's technically breakfast time, but I am ready to have soup because I can eat soup any day of the week. I tell you what. All right, we're going to go ahead and give these guys a little bit of a rinse here in a second. I'm just going to keep just ripping the stems off of the spinach. I know some people think that's ridiculous, but for me, I just don't like the spinach stems. They get, I don't know, I don't like the way that they feel in my mouth. So we're gonna go ahead and get this going. I'd say this is probably good for now. We can always add more later if we want to, but I'm gonna give it a quick little rinse. We're just gonna rinse it in our sink here. And I'm rinsing them because it will basically, just to get any excess, there may be some excess dirt from when they were harvested. We'll just rinse it out and then just pour out the spinach just like that. All right, looking good? All right, you can see that our tortellini is boiling. Now you don't want it to boil for too long because basically what happens when it boils is that the broth starts to evaporate through the air. And so we want to make sure that we don't evaporate it too much. So we're going to lower it down to medium. The tortellini are looking great. They are starting to kind of rise to the surface there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get my spinach going. We're going to start ripping it up a little bit and then throwing it into the pot just so that it cooks just like that. Looking great. It smells great. Again, if you want to add more spices to it, you can. You can add the Italian seasoning, the red pepper flakes. I would do the red pepper flakes afterwards. That is only if you like to have a kick. So we'll just keep doing that. And then, as always, adding some classic Parmesan or mozzarella, or you can just leave it because it's already cheese tortellini. We've got some Parmesan here, so I'll probably add a little bit of that when I eat it later, but we're just gonna let it continue to simmer down. It's looking great. Oh my gosh, it smells great. We're just gonna let it keep cooking, let those greens melt into the soup. And if you wanted to, we could even just put the lid on it just like that and let it kind of meld together. It's gonna be delicious. But that is a 3-ingredient soup, tortellini in brodo. It reminds me of my childhood and I cannot wait for you to try it at home. Let us know if you're watching live on YouTube or Facebook and we'll be back right after this.
Good morning, Vail.
I'm Danella Richard. I've made a career traveling the world. I've worked for some of the biggest names in travel, and now I've traded in my business suit for a swimsuit. swimming with the sharks, swinging at the edge of the world, throwing back a few shots, or shall I say spirits, eating some of the best cuisine, and even making a few furry friends along the way. I invite you to come along with me and discover the world.
Hey, it's your boy, Nephew Tommy, your host for an all-new season of Black College Quiz, where the nation's best and brightest display their knowledge of Black history and culture while competing for prizes and scholarships. So get ready to see HBCU Nation take the academic field. Black College Quiz! BCQ! Black College Quiz! BCQ! Black College Quiz! BCQ! Yeah, man.
One of the longest-running syndicated television series is back, America's Black Forum, a weekly series highlighting the latest in our lifestyles, business, entertainment, and finance. We introduce you to entrepreneurs who are making their mark in the business world and leaders who are fighting for change.
Welcome to America's Black Forum.
Tune in each week to know what's happening in our world today on America's Black Forum.
For the latest and greatest trends in pop entertainment, Popstar Today brings you compelling celebrity lifestyle stories that matter most to you. From movies, music, TV, and streaming shows, to fashion, social media influencers, and the latest on who is seeing who. Join host Elizabeth Stanton as she digs deep and dives in. This is Popstar Today.
Good morning, Vail.
We want to thank you so much for tuning in to your Saturday edition of Good Morning Vail. We love getting to be here each and every morning to bring you all of this wonderful information. Whether you're looking for a new job or a new candidate, whether you want to make some delicious tortellini soup, or you want to get some logo apparel, well then it's all here on Good Morning Vail, and we love getting to be here to bring you this information. So make sure that you tune in tomorrow for your Sunday edition. I've been your host, Maddie Evans, and I'll see you then.
Good morning, Vail. See what lies in store for you. There's so many things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Your home in the Rockies has it all. So get up, get ready to start your day. The coffee's brewing, you're on your way. The fun is waiting outside your door. Good morning, Vail.
From small towns to big cities and